Welcome to the Doggy Dojo. My name is Trevor Smith, and we are week 3 into the All-Star Foundations. And if you've been here from this whole journey, thank you for joining us. And if you haven't, I do have a playlist right here popping up and in the description down below, so you guys can get started from the beginning, because we have played some awesome games in the past and we're going to play some awesome games today. It's a jam-packed episode of tons of training games today, so get your dog ready with some treats and let's get started. First game is leading off of a previous game. We did the collar grab game and getting our dog's attention and using their collar for collection. So let's add that to a come when called behavior. And one of the things we can do with that we've done before is we've done the search, said their name, Mochi, grab the collar, and then giving them a treat. So that's the games we've been doing previously to this week. So we're going to add some stipulations and we're going to add some difficulty to this and some clarification for our dog so that your dog doesn't come over like Eeyore style, like super slow, or Sadness from the movie Inside Out. We all love her, but we want a very joyful recall. And if you hear some joyful sounds in the background, this whole journey, we have my wonderful daughter here to join us, so you can see how I can kind of manage a kid along with my puppy to do the training together. So there'll be some unexpected surprises throughout this whole episode, I guarantee it. So come hang out with us and have some fun family time. I'm gonna do a little search to the climbs over here, the platforms. You don't have to use platforms, you can just toss on the floor. Search. I wanna get some distance from him, so I can use that to my advantage. I'm gonna show you what happens when I say Mochi. Yes. Was that fast or slow? In my opinion, kind of slow, right? Because sometimes I set the precedence for that. Oh, wow, are you joining us? I set the precedence for that. Because if I'm just like, Mochi here, or Mochi, like very bland, then the dog's gonna have a bland response. So let's see what happens when I have a more excited response this time. Ready? Search. Mochi, yeah, good puppy, yeah, so good. Wow, fantastic. Let's do it again. Apple? Search. We can get you an apple. Mochi, yeah, good boy, so good, yeah. Such a good job. Let's see this one. Ready? Search. Mochi, good boy. Super excited that time. Oh, so we're going to give multiple cookies for a much more faster, excitable recall. You don't have to go as high-pitched as me. Don't get me wrong. Uh-oh. I gotta go fix the unicorn. Oh no, unicorn got stuck. Just like the treat under the couch. Go put unicorn over here. Oh, yeah. All right, we're back. So, you don't have to go as high-pitched as me. Yeah, that's just my natural excitement voice, but your excitement voice may sound very different. But the importance is to be excited. If you're just bland about it and you're just like, whatever, come. And I think this comes or stems from the fact that we think that come when called should be a given or should be a requirement or an obligation to the dog. And if we do that, if we set it as an obligation, the dog's going to be like, I guess I'll just do it. I'll just complete it when I have the time. But if we do it as like you get to come when called, or it's exciting to me to call you, then you can see a better response from your dog. One thing, if you also notice, and maybe some of you are already commenting down below before I could even get to this point, is you didn't say come. You said his name. And I personally like to develop the come when called behavior using his name and getting that excited response multiple times before I say the word here, now, quick. Now, in a different video, I can explain why I use the word here personally, and if you ask the question down below in the comment section, I'll go ahead and answer it in the next video. But for now, we're going to use the word search, and then I'm going to introduce the word here and then his name. So I'm going to introduce the new behavior or new verbal before the old verbal. So that way he associates the new verbal with the old verbal, which is his name. Here, ready, go search. Here, Mochi, good boy! Very nice, good job. Ready? Here, Mochi, good boy! Super, wow. Awesome. Be excited with your come when called behaviors. Have a lot of fun with it. I love the search cookie added into there. You can use a friend or family member to hold your dog while you call them. Last week, we talked about spin and twist, or turn left, turn right behavior, and we did it in front of us. Let's go ahead and try this at our side, which is going to help us in future behaviors for dog agility and tricks. So we're going to take the treat and we're going to draw a circle one direction, say yes, and then reward, or circle the other direction, and then say yes, and then reward. That way the dog gets an idea of what's happening with the spin and twist. And if your dog has the verbal down pretty good, you can start saying left, spin, here we go, good job, or right, good job, excellent, right, yes, good boy, left, yes, good boy, super. Start developing front cross and rear cross behavior for dog agility, or swings and twists, turns lefts and rights. So just really make sure that you're not only doing everything in front of you, you have some behaviors at the side of you. This next game we're going to go into is going to help with a bunch of paw proprioception behaviors. That's just like getting your dogs with their front paws on this bowl here. And this is where you might have to start here, is getting the dog used to putting their paws up on the bowl. And Mochi hasn't done. Yes, good. Very methodical about it. Come here. Yes, good. You're such a good demo dog. Some dogs are going to do exactly what Mochi did and just like not know how to get his paws up there. And we're going to reward this behavior first. Here, so first step here, just getting the paws up. Yes, good. And this might be your first training session, just working on saying search, telling him search. Let him go get the cookie and come back and put their paws up on the behavior. Now, in order to spin them around the bowl, some dogs do better if you're in front of them and teach them a lot of front behavior. But then also some dogs do better too at the side here. And I'm not going to push the dog, but I'm just going to kind of step into them. Yes, good job. And that sometimes just that pressure of your body, not necessarily physical pressure, and you'll see as I come around this direction, but that pressure just moving into them is going to help them turn around. But I also would love for my dog to do it where they put pressure into me. So I like to also get my dog to, in a future video, we're going to talk about how to get them to orbit or turn their rear end into our body. Now, the more pressure you have to put into your dog with your leg, your arm, or a stick, the harder it is to fade that away. So it's not bad necessarily to give a little bit of physical pressure into the dog. The more you have to use your leg or hand or like a stick or some sort of prop to get the dog to do the behavior, the harder it's going to be to fade that away. But in the beginning stages, you can do what's called molding and just kind of mold the behavior that you want. Just realize it's really important to be gentle. We never want to use physical harm to get the dog to the behavior that we want. So the next game we're going to play is called crate games. The reason I need to use crates with my dog is I'm going to do dog sports. I'm going to have my dog stay in a kennel or enclosed situation like this in order to go walk the courses or do any other thing that I need to do for my dog sports. Personally, I also think it's a great foundational tool to get your dog learning how to stay. There's a lot of games you can do with stays and recalls using crate games. So to get started, one, you got to get value for the kennel. So I'm going to go ahead and get Mochi over here. Mochi, super, search. Good job. Just a value for the kennel. Search, good job. And we're going to do, now this crate is pretty big for him. You don't need one this big, but we're going to close the front end and we're going to work on him staying still inside the kennel. So now some would say you want him to have a nice sit behind here or way back here, but this is a big kennel. But I am going to use this kennel to my advantage. The fact this wire kennel has open spacing, I can actually give him a treat back here because what I want him to do is not rush the door. We're going to open up the door. If he goes to push forward on the door, we're going to go ahead and gently close it. And we're going to wait for him to hang back. Good job. And I may even work like a search cookie in there to get him to get the cookie. Open up the door. He hangs back. We're going to say, yes, good boy. And give him a cookie way back here. Start getting him to think that pushing on the door is not the reinforcer or reinforcement I'm looking for or the reward I'm looking for. I don't want him to think that getting out the door is the goal. The goal is for him to stay inside the kennel even if the door opens up. He goes forward, close it. And what you can do, actually, you can stand here and have one hand on the door and give him cookies way back there. So one hand on the door. As you open up the door, you can bring the cookie back here. Yes, good job. Good boy. Good job. Now that it's all the way open, search back here. I'm just using search cookies because it's easier for me to toss it way back there. But you can kind of lean back as far as you can to get the dog to get the reinforcement. I'm going to stand up, but if he stays in the kennel, it doesn't come out. Gets no more reinforcement, but as you can see, beginning stay work. You know, I'm not asking him to do a sit, a stand, or a down stay. I'm just asking him to stay inside this kennel. So building that impulse control and duration behavior inside the kennel is great. That's a good boy. I always give him Cookie back here. And I can work on a little distraction. Oh, he starts to go forward. I close the door. Work on a little distraction work. Move around the kennel a little bit. Reward back here. Just letting him know that, hey, all the kennel and all the treats are coming back there. If you get the treat up here, outside the kennel, it's going to want to get them to pull out of the kennel. So you want to give the treat back and away from you and on the back end of the kennel. Point of reinforcement, as we like to call it. Good job, buddy. And I'm actually also working a little bit of distance training now. He's doing so good. Your first session is probably not going to look like this, especially if your dog's not used to kennels at all. Your first session is going to be really hard. When I'm done, I'm going to go ahead and ask him to be free. Release. He was an easy dog. Most dogs, you're going to spend a lot of time even just like touching the front door. You're going to be like touching the front door and they're going to push on the door. You're going to be not moving the latches around and they're going to be pushing on the door. And you're going to work on just that aspect and that impulse control of not trying to push out of the kennel, because so much fun is outside the kennel a lot of times and so much not fun is inside the kennel. So if you put your dog in the kennel for times of separation, time like going to bed at night or you're leaving for work or whatever, or when they are in trouble and you need to give them a timeout, those things will build a very poor perception. Good job, buddy. He's like, can we open this thing back up again? A poor perception of the kennel. And if you build a poor perception of the kennel, your dog's not going to be in there. And so anytime you touch that door, they're going to get out. In my world and with my dogs, kennels are not a punishment. And so maybe some of you guys that stuck in this video, they're like, I don't know about the kennel stuff. I don't know about putting my dog in crate. I've heard it's really bad to do. It's really cruel to do. Hopefully this kind of gave you some insight of like how we can change that mindset. And I hope that this will help you and your dog be more successful in this area. Before we jump into this last game, I hope you guys have been enjoying the video so far. And if you do, go ahead and make sure you don't miss another video by subscribing and hitting that notification bell. And if you have any questions or comments, put them down below. I'd love to answer your questions throughout this whole series. And some of you guys are thinking, it's a series? How long is this going? At the moment, I have 16 weeks of material to get through, and we're only on week 3. So if you're enjoying all these weeks worth of materials, then go ahead and just join the Doggy Dojo journey. So my final games are reward-based games. I'm going to actually do 2 games. I'm going to do a treat-based game, and then at the end of the video, I'm going to do a toy-based game that I think you're going to enjoy. And so one of the first games I like to do, this comes from Ken Ramirez. I have to give credit where credit is due. It's called the Pet Then Treat game, and it's building the value of your pet reinforcement. A lot of dogs, surprisingly enough, aren't that big on pets, and some dogs are, and that's fantastic. But of course, a lot of dogs, if not all dogs, love food. So we can use food as a reinforcement tool to develop the value of pet behavior. So all we're going to do is we're going to reach down, pet our dog, and then give him a treat. You think, oh man, that's pretty silly, Trevor. It's not. It's really good because I want the dog to not avoid pets. You'd be surprised. How many of you guys right now go ahead and try to pet your dog and see if your dog will avoid the pets or run away from you? We don't want that. And if our dogs don't want the food that we brought to a training session, or we're at a park and there's lots of distractions and they're behaving, but they're not interested in what we have for food, we need other types of reinforcers to help them know or get reinforced for the good behaviors that they're doing. So pets being one, and toys, which we'll talk about here in a second. We can ask for behavior like left, yes, pet, then treat. We can do behavior like sit, yes, pet, then treat. It starts to develop the idea that pet comes before getting a cookie, and that will actually start to drive the value up for the pet behavior. So I'm petting them on the head. You can pet them practically anywhere they enjoy, but petting on the head is a really quick way of doing that. So he right now is grabbing one of Zoe's books. I could do one of 2 things right now. Good boy, bring here. I can yell at him, run after him, and chase him down to tell him that he's a bad dog for grabbing one of her books. Or I can invest in my dog's training and think, there may be a trick that comes from this. And if you guys are watching this years later, you might actually see a trick with this. I don't know. It might be. Bring it here. Good boy. Super. Nice job. Nowhere in his puppy book did he get told that chewing this book was a bad thing. You shouldn't do it. In his world, in his diagram, in his user guide to be a great puppy, he never was told that this is a bad thing. So we have to kind of train it and shift it. So now we're going to train and shift it towards toys. What you're going to need for this is multiple toys. 2, 3, 4 toys. It doesn't really matter as long as you have multiple toys. I'm going to start on something I think he doesn't necessarily wants to play with, and then we're going to switch to something I think he'll like playing with more. I don't know. This is like some fluffy stuff to it. This has just rubber, but we're going to see. I played with a lot of different toys with him, but I'm going to engage him real quickly with this. Ready? Mochi. Get in. Good job. What a good boy. Oh, get it. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So he's playing with something that's fun. It's engaging. It's a distraction. I'm going to do this really quick. I'm going to come over here, and now I'm going to see if we can switch from that toy to this toy. Oh, get this. Get this. Oh, look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Oh, I'm going to keep playing with it. I'm going to tell him to get it. He wants to use both. Yeah, good job. Whoa, whoa, wow. Yeah, good. Yeah. Oh, what a good boy. What a good boy. What a good boy. What a good boy. Ready, get. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Ready, get this. Get this. Get this. We're going to talk about what we're doing here and why we're doing what's called the Switcheroo game. It's one of my favorite games to play with dogs. Basically, what we're doing is we're telling him, what a good boy, for playing with whatever's in my hand and whatever I want to play with you with, not necessarily what you want to play with. And that's always good. Okay, let's even go back to this. Oh, yeah. Oh, it's so much fun. Oh, he definitely likes this one better. So I always like to start with the one that's maybe not as fun because it's easier to switch from something that's not as fun to something that's more fun. When he switched back from this to this, that was huge because this is definitely a lot more easy to grip and grab and tug and rug. But let's see if we can do that one more time. Ready? Oh, but this one has a little bit of bounce to it. Get it. Get that toy. Get that toy. Get that. Dragging it across the room. Get it. Oh, yeah. And there's a lot of things in life, right, that are more fun, that are more exciting than what you have. Oh, good boy. Get it. Oh, so good. Well, he's going to say, I'm going to grab the cloth part. You can have the rubber part. I'll have the cloth part. Good boy. And then go back to this. Good job. Ready? Get it. Mochi. Get it. Yeah, when it comes to dog agility, sometimes the tunnel is more fun than doing the A-frame or the jump or the weave poles. And when it comes to real life, playing with that dog or that squirrel seems to be more fun than playing with you right now, but we want to kind of give them the mindset right now that whatever is in your hand, whatever you want to do, whatever behavior you're asking him to do is so much more fun, more engaging than playing with whatever they want to. Good job. And that it's not necessarily like saying like don't play with the fun thing and play with that instead. It's more so like whatever I have is got to be more fun than whatever you're thinking about. If that looks like super fun, if that squirrel looks like so cool to chase, but I'm asking you to tug this toy, that squirrel means nothing in comparison to me. And that's what we're aiming for. Like I said, this video is jam-packed with lots of training games. I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode and week of training. I know you probably can't believe that there's so many more things to play with our dogs, but we're building up to other behaviors. And sometimes we need a lot of these foundational behaviors. Together, we'll bring them into a new behavior, a new training game. But without these foundational core behaviors, it's really hard to play this game up here. These are kind of like the foundation that's going to build up to something that's really awesome with our dogs. Hope you guys will join us throughout the whole journey and enjoy this time here on Doggy Dojo. Thanks for joining. As always, have some fun with your dogs, and we'll see y'all next time. Bye.